Okay, good morning, and today we're going to be looking at using some persuasive language to try and persuade the reader to spend a night in this spooky house. We're going to be using some persuasive language and hopefully keeping some rhetorical questions in with us as well. Our word of the day is ominous, which means a feeling that something bad might happen. Okay, you might have an ominous feeling, or there might be an ominous situation. Now, persuasive language and persuasive documents and writing are always set up with an introduction, where you introduce the reader to your main argument. So, what you want them to do, basically. Then it's followed by a series of points saying how you want them to follow, and that's where you try and persuade them, try and get them to do what you want them to do. So, I've put down a little bit of persuasive language here that I think would help me organize my text. So the first two would go in my introduction, saying what I believe or what I'm writing about. These, for firstly, in addition, furthermore, they're there to help organize the text, so put different points in. This is just to show an example, and you can change that as you like. And these are examples of persuasive language that you can turn into rhetorical questions. Now, a rhetorical question is where you ask the reader something that you don't really want them to answer. You just want them to agree or to know what you're talking about. So in this case, this language could really help us because it's a really good persuasive technique. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to teach you everything about persuasive language just in one go here. However, we can make a good start. So, firstly, I am writing to you today to persuade you to persuade you to spend a night in this house. It's not very powerful language, is it? So we'll try and make it a little bit better. Okay, I'm writing to you today to implore. Now that's a really good word I just thought of, and it just means to, you're really trying to get someone to do this. I implore you to do this. Okay, I'm writing to you today to implore that you spend a night in this delightful rustic mansion. Now, I've described this as delightful. It looks anything but delightful. It doesn't look like a place where you'd want to spend the night alone. Now, the reason I've done that is sometimes when you try and persuade someone, you tell little white lies. Oh, yeah, it's not so bad. It's fine. That's what you do. So I'm just, embellishing the truth here, making it seem a little bit better than it is. So I'm going to continue. I believe that this house would be the perfect place to spend a romantic evening. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there just for a second. And you can see that I've put in words like perfect, romantic, delightful, and they're all just making it seem better than it is. Okay, I'm going to go on to my first point now. So I need to think about how I'm going to persuade someone to spend the night here. So it might be like, firstly, you might be put off by the bold, terrifying trees in the garden. Okay, so I'll go with that. Okay, so firstly, my first point, don't be put off by the trees in the garden. Although they look, I'm going to try and use that word of the day here. So, although they look a bit ominous, they actually are brilliant for birds to come and nest on. So I'm making it sound better than it actually is. Okay, and I'll add a little bit of humor in here. So I'll say, although they look a bit ominous, they are actually brilliant for birds to come and nest on. Sometimes the house even attracts, I'll get it eventually, attracts vultures. Now, in case you didn't know, a vulture is a bird of prey that looks a little bit like this. And it's exactly the sort of bird that you do not want nesting on a horrible tree in the back of this haunted mansion, because it's going to make you feel even worse. So that's where the humour comes from. And then I'll go down to make my next point. So firstly, what was my first point? I'll do in addition next. So in addition. Now let's think about what's going to be inside this spooky mansion. Okay, so we say, oh, lovely. We could say like we've got lovely, comfortable beds, but then we might talk a little bit about maybe like the cobwebs. So it'll be like, in addition. Here we go. In addition, the bedrooms at the mansion are incredible. They are so comfortable that you could almost die. And now that might sound a little bit harsh, but it's playing into the idea that this is a very scary place, but they're trying to make it sound really nice. So they are so comfortable that you could almost die. There are a few cobwebs, but we are quite sure that the giant spiders moved out of the mansion a few days ago. And I'll just add a little bit more detail to this. I'll just say it's some really simple statement. What a perfect way to spend a romantic evening. And that means a lot of persuasive writing is repeating things that you've already said. Because the more that you repeat something, the more people are going to remember it, and the more that they're going to maybe agree with you. Okay, so I've said, what a perfect way to spend a romantic evening here. And I've also said it, perfect place to spend a romantic evening here. So I'm being very clever here, trying to get them to stay in my haunted mansion. And I'll say it here, experts agree or without a doubt. So I'll move on a little bit. So maybe not experts agree, I'll go with without a doubt. So you're saying to the reader, there is not a doubt in my mind that this is the best place to stay in the world. Okay, without a doubt, the mansion gets fantastic reviews on TripAdvisor. Now, if you don't know, TripAdvisor is a website that lets people who've stayed in particular places give their own reviews on it. So without a doubt, the mansion gets fantastic reviews on TripAdvisor. One person, or one guest, that sounds better, doesn't it? One guest, Mr. W.E. Rewolf. And can you see what I've done with the name there? One guest, Mr. W.E. Rewolf, said, I had a beautiful night's sleep, and the breakfast of dog food in the morning was just superb. So what I've done there is I've given it a little bit more humor, a little bit more of someone else, who it's not just the person who owns the mansion is trying to get you to go there, but this is just another idea, another example of someone else who's had a good time there and wants to share their opinion. Okay, and this, I'm making this quite short. You guys might want to add another point in, so you might do firstly, in addition. You might add in, for example, here you might add in furthermore, or you might say finally, or another great example of. Okay, but I think that I'm just going to finish this up nice and quickly here. So here we go. I'm going to use a rhetorical question. Remember, that's a question that doesn't need answering, and it's something that you just imagine that whoever you're speaking to agrees with. Okay, so don't you agree? Or rather, let's make it even better. Having heard all about the mansion, don't you agree that it would be a superb, and I'm saying that word superb again to repeat it, because remember, repetitive language is really important in persuasive texts. Don't you agree that it would be a superb place to spend the night? And I put my question mark on the end. All right. If I read this through now, I'm just going to have a look through. I've written about, well, let's see, 179 words. There's not that many. Okay, I'll read it through and see if there's anything I can add. Okay, I am writing to you today to implore that you spend a night in this delightful rustic mansion. I believe that this house would be a perfect place to spend a romantic evening. Firstly, don't be put off by the trees in the garden. Okay, so I'm going to add something here. I'm going to add lonely here, because I don't want to say like dead. But I'm going to add lonely as just an extra adjective there. Although they look a bit ominous, my word of the day, they actually are brilliant. That doesn't make sense, does it? It should be, they are actually brilliant. They are actually brilliant for birds to come and nest on. My word is telling me that there's something wrong here. And I think it's trying to say that there's too many words there. So I'll get rid of the word actually. Sometimes the house even attracts vultures. In addition, the bedrooms at the mansion are incredible. They are so comfortable that you could almost die. And again, we're just having a little bit of humour there. There are a few cobwebs, but we're quite sure that the giant spiders moved out of the mansion a few days ago. What a perfect way to spend a romantic evening. Then I might add another paragraph in. Then I'm going to use one of the outside influences. So an eyewitness, I like to call them. Without a doubt, the mansion gets fantastic reviews on TripAdvisor. One guest, Mr. W.E. Ray Wolf, said, I had a beautiful night's sleep and the breakfast of dog food in the morning was just superb. Having heard all about the mansion, don't you agree it will be a superb place to spend the night? That's not bad. Okay, if you want to have a go at doing your own, please do. And please use this to help you write, okay? Don't worry about copying things. Use it to structure your own language and your own writing. Okay, good luck.